But for now, I will be looking at any of the questions and comments, and thank you so much for all your support. Melissa A is asking about the dependents in Young. The way it was previously written, because there's a good possibility that the stimulus package that passed in the House and in the Senate, there's a possibility that that will be the stimulus package that we end up with and that passes. Again, if President Trump does nothing and the House and Senate do not adjourn, then the stimulus package will pass without the president's signature. If that's the case, then it would be the $600 second stimulus check as well as $600 for qualifying dependents. If this does get upped somehow to the $2,000 stimulus checks, there has been no talk on what the official wording would be or the details would be for qualifying dependents. Whether adult dependents would qualify, whether college students would qualify who are claimed as dependents, and all that. Basically, they would need to go rewrite either that portion or all of it. But then again, President Trump, he is literally requesting that the whole thing be rewritten because he's saying get the unnecessary items and spending out of there, reduce the foreign aid, get the special interest agenda out of there, and increase the stimulus checks amount. That's what he's saying. But that's a very good question. Thank you for that. You know, a lot of people are saying, okay, this stimulus package, it's going to be $900 billion. They're just saying, why don't we just cut out all the nonsense and just give them money as a stimulus check, as a second stimulus check. That would make things easier, and at least that would eliminate all of the unnecessary spending, all the special interest. Obviously, I know the unemployment benefits are important, eviction protections, rental assistance. It's a shame that there was nothing provided to essential workers as well. But for one thing, it would be nice to see the stimulus check amount raised. $600. I mean, that was extremely low. People are asking what my prediction is. My prediction is, well, I mean, it's pretty straightforward because the Republicans, they've already spoken. The $2,000 stimulus checks, it's going to require unanimous consent. The Republicans already have said that they're not going to support it. Not all the Republicans. Many Republicans already have spoken out saying that when the time for unanimous consent occurs tomorrow at 9 a.m., that they're going to stand against it. So it's going to be no surprise. It's going to be no secret that it's going to get shot down tomorrow. Basically, Crimmer, it's always good to see Crimmer. There's many ways that this can get done. Well, if there is the unanimous consent, which is far-fetched, then they would not need to rewrite all of it. Basically, in that scenario, then it would pass that amount for the stimulus checks would be increased to $2,000. The other option is to rewrite this whole thing. Maybe they just want to modify the stimulus check wording and details and up the amounts. But President Trump, he did not just point out just the stimulus checks. He pointed out the foreign aid, the special interest, and all that. He said, rewrite that, make it more acceptable, send it to my desk, I'll sign off. Therefore, that's another option. They rewrite the whole thing. They go through the whole process. That's going to require negotiations all over again. The other option is that President Trump does not do anything and then it gets signed into law after 10 days. So then we would end up with what we thought that we would end up just at least a few hours ago. The other option is that President Trump vetoes it, and then the House and then the Senate, they overturn the veto. They clearly are capable of doing that because it passed with such a large majority. Yoon, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Eleanor Penalosa, thank you for that. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Daily Good Vibes. I appreciate that so much. I only watch your videos. You state the facts and get to the point, no bias. I appreciate that. I just try to give you a fair account, a fair representation of what's going on without giving, my opinion or taking sides. I just want to lay out the facts for you so that you can come up with your own opinion. Angel Cabrera is saying they don't want to listen to Pelosi, but they have to listen to Trump, right? If Trump wants to raise the checks, why don't they do it? Again, I mean, there's a variety of reasons why the politicians will not increase the stimulus checks. We've already had people vocally and explicitly saying that they're opposed to the $2,000 stimulus checks. The biggest concern is their belief that the economy is fine, that what they were doing in the previous the stimulus package that got to President Trump's desk, they believe that that was sufficient, and they're saying that that's good enough to hold us over until everything's fine again, until the economy recovers, until COVID's conquered. That's what they're saying. Their other concern, obviously, is they're saying that they don't want to balloon the deficit and increase the national debt. They're trying to keep the stimulus package under $1 trillion. Obviously, okay, the last stimulus package, the stimulus checks for $1,200, that program costs $300 billion. If they're going to up this one to $2,000, then that's going to be, that's going to spill well over the $1 trillion mark. I don't know why they're using the $1 trillion mark as the threshold, but it's going to spill way over that amount, which is going to be above their budget tolerance, apparently. That's what they're saying. Forefathers are rolling around in their graves now. How is this level of corruption allowed to happen and continue to happen? Unbelievable. Thank you for that comment, Michael. Michael Holmes, thank you so much. Sage is saying Trump is being deceptive because all that unnecessary spending that he claims in the COVID relief bill in actuality is in the government spending bill, and they were proposed together at the same time. That was in the omnibus spending bill. In other words, that's the government funding bill. They were merged together, so you can look at it as different parts or as one together. So what you are saying, Sage, is technically correct, and that is what the reporters were saying. That is what I just said. Who said that? That was Republican. That was Republican Don Bacon said the same thing that you are saying. He is saying that Treasury Secretary, well, two things. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin was part of the negotiations and gave all this information to President Trump as the negotiations were going on. And secondly, that those pieces where President Trump is saying it's not even part of the COVID bill, that was part of the omnibus spending bill. So he is saying that it's not even part of the stimulus package. So I understand where you're coming from, but then again, you have a lot of unnecessary spending. You have a lot of special interests. So you have to see from the other side as well. All of that, as people at home, people are suffering, people are dying, people are losing jobs, people are losing homes. It's just sad. You know, whether that's part of the omnibus bill, the government funding bill, or the stimulus package, it's just sad to see wasteful spending. So, I do agree. Yeah, it is being distorted. However, it's never good to see wasteful spending like that. It's just a shame. Saying that your brother was furloughed by United Airlines, hoping to see him get his job back. In the bill that was supposed to pass, that President Trump is refusing to sign, that had a lot of aid to bring back workers, to bring back furloughed workers like your brother, back to United Airlines, back to American Airlines, back to major carriers. So, it's good to see a request or a demand for increased stimulus checks, but then again, it is sad to see that people will need to wait longer. You know, whether that be temporarily for 10 days or even longer than that, who knows? It's just, it's just a bad situation. I must admit, it's a bad situation, so I definitely understand where you're coming from and why people, this is very frustrating, obviously. Ashley Holmes, do you think this will affect the January runoff elections in Georgia, hurt the Republicans' chances? I do believe so. The polls they currently have in the Georgia Senate elections, that's going to determine who takes control of the Senate, the Republicans or the Democrats. This is going to occur on January 5th. This is definitely, the Republicans are currently in the lead by a small margin. Republican senators, Perdue and Loeffler, they're already getting heat for agreeing with President Trump about the $600 stimulus checks. There's already ad campaigns going against the Republican senators, Loeffler and Perdue, so they're using every opportunity to go against them. We'll see how this plays out, but you can only imagine that this is working negatively against the Republican Party in the Georgia Senate elections. Also, you can probably expect the discontinuation of President Trump to support the Republicans in Georgia in terms of the campaigning. We'll see. But I can't imagine that this is going to incentivize President Trump to go out there and really campaign hard for the Republican Party in Georgia. Abido reporting live is saying, I believe a revolution should happen. What do you think? I don't know in terms of how far you want to take it, but I think we deserve and need better politicians. I mean, that's as far as I'll go. But yeah, I mean, you already see people saying we need to drain the swamp. It's just sad to see, all this wasteful, unnecessary spending and special interest trying to be snuck into the stimulus package. Greg Greasy is saying it's over. Our economy is doomed. We'll see how the unemployment report continues to go. We'll see how the December reports are. That's going to be reported the first Friday of January. Unemployment claims, the new claims, they were rising for the past 2 weeks. The one that was reported for the last week, today, 800,000 people filed for unemployment claims for the first time last week. That was a slight decrease. So we're starting to stabilize and plateau. However, if you look at it for the past 2-3 months, it's literally done nothing. This is not the V-shaped recovery that we were looking for. Why do they want to give so much to other countries? Well, I mean, that's just the way it's been. I mean, I'm not going to agree or disagree, but the whole theory is that America, United States of America, greatest country in the world, should be the police of the world that would somehow secure our position and our safety back at home. Whether you agree or disagree with that theory, that's what they're saying. More stability overseas means more stability in the United States. That's their theory. But are they spending too much? I mean, you tell me. That's your opinion. That's my opinion. That's for people to decide. But hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, that's a lot of money that we Americans could use at home. Helias, what gel do you use? I use the Got to Be glue. I'm not sponsoring them. That was a real question. BIC, saying, shout me out, Brian. Well, you spelled my name Brain. I see that all the time. That's okay. But this is a shout out for you, Bic. Thank you so much for all your support. I appreciate it so much. What will happen? Jose Gomez is asking, what will happen with PUA? PUA was in the stimulus bill that got passed, that got voted on and approved by the House and Senate. That was in the bill. President Trump, that's what we're currently talking about. President Trump is refusing to sign off not only the stimulus checks, but the whole thing. So PUA will be impacted because those benefits will expire. Mary is saying, hello from Michigan. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's very kind. Sharon Murray saying the omnibus bill, that's the government funding bill, was rushed through, and that's why there's so much hidden. I agree. There's 5,500 pages. You can't give someone 2 hours to read through 5,500 pages of legal text and expect them to make a good decision. You're obviously going to miss 90-something% of all that. Billy Joe's Mo, frankincense, everyone like up the page. Like. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that support. Thank you so much.